Well, hello there. So we're going to talk a little bit about denial of service attacks today and the tools that can be used to do them and legitimate uses of those tools, as well as we're going to play with JMeter. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing, denial of service. So denial of service is when you do something to make it so a service is no longer available so people can't use it. When we talk about the CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, availability, we're attacking the availability part of it. So denial of service. And you can do this in a lot of different ways. You can send something to it that causes it to crash so it's not available, or you can just flood it with so much information that it can't handle it, so that it can't handle the normal requests, so it's not available. And you could hijack like a DNS or something, so you send people to the wrong area so it's not available. So you just cause it. There's different ways you can do this. But let's talk about denial of service attacks, actually sending requests. So oftentimes you do now a distributed denial of service attack. So you have lots of different bots that hit the same thing from all over. So that's one of the best ways to do it. So what type of tools are used for this? There are a lot of tools out there to use for it. So I've used things like even curl and wget, all the way to things like jmeter, load runner. I can't remember them all. There's some of them that were actually just plugins to my web browser that I used. iMacros, that was one of them. So there's lots of tools out there. And the legitimate use for these is, hey, checking the status of your web page and seeing if it's up and available, and even doing a load test to make sure that your system, talking about that CIA triad, the availability, making sure it can handle normal load. And sometimes you might even want to pound your system to see if it can handle abnormal load. So can you handle a small denial of service attack? And what are you going to do to make it even more robust so it can handle bigger ones? Okay, so let's install JMeter and just run a quick test against the site. I have another video, I believe, and maybe I'll try and link to it down below, that does wget, that does something similar, but we're going to use JMeter this time. JMeter is a tool that is used to do load tests. Okay, so let's create a system first. So my jmeter system. By the way, with JMeter, let's see. I'm just going to select existing. It doesn't matter which security group I use, and I hate that it keeps creating these. So I'm just going to select one. With JMeter, there's a couple different things that you can do. And oftentimes you install a client on your local system. We're not going to do that because this is not a deep dive into JMeter. But you can install a client on your local system, record different processes, and set up a load test with your recording. We're just going to create a simple one URL test that's not logging in or anything like that. So this is bare minimum. Okay, so we have the system that we're spinning up. And here's the IP address. And I'm going to grab that because the DNS name's not, DNS name's too big. I wonder if that's going to be good enough. Okay, so by the way, I do set-ovi so I can look at my history. I can go to SSH, and that's the key I'm using is another one, and paste the new IP in here, and it looks like it's up, and we're in. Okay, so now that we're in, the first thing we should do is let's get Java. I don't think Java is unfortunately installed by default on this. So it's not. So sudo yum-y install Java. and it'll install that. So after I install Java, the next thing I need is jmeter. Okay, so while that's running, in fact, it's probably done now. Come out here to jmeter. I'll include these links down below. I just opened a ton of things right here. So jmeter, we want the binaries. So I'm going to copy this link address, and we're also going to open up, in fact, I've opened it. I'll just open it again. Whenever you download something from the web, it's good to check the SHA 256 sum. So, or if this is a 512. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is wget that jmeter binary. Okay, and we can see it's there. And we're going to do a SHA 512 sum on it. And so this just does a little thing to make sure it hasn't been changed while it was moved over. And I usually mostly just look at the end. You should look at the whole string, but it's big. And if you just look at the front and the end, it's usually sufficient. But ideally, you'd compare the whole string. 689083. We can come back here. 689083. So what a checksum does is it takes everything that's in the file, does some math on it, and spits out the answer. Okay, so we're just comparing the answer, and the reason why I usually just check a small portion is because it'd be hard to match the whole thing, and I often check the first and the last a little bit, and that would also be hard. It's ideally you check the whole string. In fact, why don't we just do that? We're just going to grab this. And we're going to echo that, and then do this SHA again. Okay, so if we look here, we can see I echoed it, and it's exactly the same as the thing below. I can look at all different aspects of it. Okay, with the math that it does, if there's just a little thing in it, like an A being capitalized versus not capitalized, it completely changes the output. So thank you, people that do math better than I. So it's to make sure that it hasn't been altered or changed so that we can all be happy. Okay, so now that I have that, I've installed it. Well, I got the binary down. No, I didn't install it yet. I need to untar it. Okay, so we're going to tar and we're going to extract it verbose, and it was zipped, and give it the name of the file, Apache. Okay, I'll include the commands down below too. Okay, so we extracted it. So now if we do ls-l, we can see that not only do we have the TGZ here, but we also have the directory. So let's go into the directory, Apache jmeter, cd bin, and here's the jmeter run stuff. Okay, so now I need one, well, let's just, for kicks, run jmeter and see what the command, what the issue is. jmeter.sh, I think is what, I'm going to use jmeter.sh, I think. Just want to double check something. Yeah. jmeter.sh, and I'm doing n for no GUI because I don't have a GUI installed on this server. Okay, so and it's going to come back and it's going to say, hey, I need a test plan, and so I'm going to print out the usage. Okay, so I need a test plan. So great, I need to get a test plan. So I did what a lot of us do. They went to ChatGPT, said, hey, give me a test plan. So I just said, hey, please give me a super simple test plan to run. Sweet. So I'm just going to, I guess I can copy the code. Copy the code here, come back here, and I'm going to do something really bad. I'm going to put the test in the bin directory. We usually shouldn't do this. So vi my test, and these are JMX files, I think. JMX. Insert by hitting I, paste it, And there's one thing I'm definitely going to want to change here, and that's the URL. It's going to, and I'm trying to think what to hit. We're going to, I know what we'll hit. I think this used example. I'm going to look for it. Exam, right there. Okay. So, example.com, let's get rid of this. And I'm going to come out here to the internet, and I'm just going to hit something, which you shouldn't do this unless you have permission with lots of hits. I'm only going to hit it once. So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm just going to hit their website, and hopefully they don't get cranky with me. So paste it there. That's the URL I'm going to hit. Okay, so I have jmeter installed. I have my test script. So let's see if we can run this. /jmeter. By the way, let me just show this again. ls. So jmeter.sh is in this directory, and there's my test file. So // means in this directory. Okay, jmeter.sh. No GUI, and T's for the test thing, and I called it mytest.jmx. And I think I need to give it a log file, mylog.txt. And we hit enter and hope it works. Blah, blah, blah. Look, something there. It's min-max summary 1. Looks like it may have been an error. Look. More mylog.txt. And HTTP response cold. It did not like the URL or IPv6. So there's something wrong with that. Let's change this to Amazon or Google. Let's change this to Google because that didn't. So I'm going to VI my test. And oh, you know what? It's also HTTPS. Is that a problem? I'm trying to think. Let's just see if we can get to Google. Oop. Oh, shoot. Okay. And I'll try this again. Started, finished. Cool. Let's look at the log. Okay. Anyway, unrecognized IPv6 format. I might still have a problem here, but we did get jmeter in. We ran a test one, even if we might not be doing it completely correctly yet. But I'll share stuff down below. If you're going to be using jmeter, I strongly suggest that you install the GUI, create your own test scripts. There's a lot of cool things you can do. Logging in automatically, keeping track of cookies, all sorts of things there. And I'll actually link to, I think this, no, one of these right here. Building a web test plan. This is great. It takes you through the steps on how to do it. There's all sorts of cool things that you can do here. I've seen jmeter used for a lot of great load tests, trying to help make sure that sites will work well during their peaks. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. In this video, we installed jmeter and we ran a sample test plan. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.